Editors from Indiana's CNHI newspaper sat down with John Gregg, the Democratic nominee for Indiana governor. While many questions were asked, here's what he had to say about economic development, education, and LGBT rights.
So in our economic program, we talk about targeting, and I've used the term laser-like focus, on jobs in 5 key areas. And these 5 key areas are high growth, but they're high wage paying jobs. Now, before I tell you what they are, it doesn't mean we don't want other jobs to come. It's just this is where I want to focus our economic development attention. It's in life and biosciences. It's in information technology. It's in advanced manufacturing. It's in 21st century logistics, and it's in agribusiness. And just agribusiness is more than, of course, we're talking about more than just putting the seed in the ground or feeding it to livestock. It's everything in that sense. We target in those 5 areas. We think that is the key because of the growth and the wage potential in there, number one. The second thing we do is we talk better about aligning our job training in Indiana with the needed skills. And I think that's essential, and I'll elaborate, I'm sure, more on that, but it's staying focused on the economy and not on social issues. Number one, we want to start pre-kindergarten. Not a pilot program, not in 5 counties, only 1,500 students. There's 80,000 4-year-olds. I've studied the budget along with Glenda Ritz and others. We have reversions where we can bring it in over 3 years with no new dollars. So pre-kindergarten first and foremost. And I can give you all the statistics while that's necessary and the advantages if you want it, but if we've got 2 minutes, we don't have time. Second thing is to take the politics out of education, for heaven's sakes. There should never be a liberal idea, a conservative idea, a Democrat idea, or a Republican idea when it comes to education. It's got to be about the student. So we say stop this demeaning and downgrading teachers, and then the third thing is to stop the teaching to the test. And my opponent and I have a big difference there. He tells you he's opposed to it, but right now coming through the legislature is I-STEP, just with a different name. And I use this analogy. I don't care whether you say I'm bald-headed or I have no hair. The results are the same. And I-STEP, by any other names, I-STEP. And if we would have just had one teacher sitting there, we wouldn't have been in this mess. So we really have to stop teaching to the test. There's a whole myriad of things we can do and still have accountability, because we do have to have accountability. Yes, I do, and it's one of the policies, one of the first ones we put out, a white paper. We believe that civil rights protection needs extended to members of the LGBT community. We have damaged our reputation, our image for hospitality. It's the right thing to do, and it also not only is the right thing about respecting, this is an economic issue too, and it has hurt us economically. As I said, it's still one of the top 5 issues for the Chamber of Commerce. I've heard it in Eli Lilly's executive suite. I've heard it in Hillenbrand executive suite, who's another one of our major corporate citizens. I've heard it in Salesforce executive suites. We have to do that. So as governor, I'll sign an executive order giving civil rights protection to members of the LGBT community that make up the 34,000 state employees, and because we're going to lead by example, we'll also make sure that companies that are doing business with the state do not have discriminatory policies. The state's a huge contractor, so you lead by example. And the other thing we do is we still ask the legislature to pass it. And if you're going to say, well, they pass it this first time, I don't think they will, but I do think they will. This isn't a Democrat or Republican issue as much as many of my Democrat friends like to tell you it is. You can look and see what Mayor Brainerd did in Carmel. You can Yancey, who is a Republican, obviously. Mayor Ballard, former Mayor Ballard, did in Indianapolis. My buddy Duke Bennett over in Terre Haute is a Republican. Lloyd Winnicky. There are many Republicans and moderate Republicans that feel this way too. So we'll get it done in time. Fight goes on.